In the glamorous world of Chinese entertainment, sudden shifts in a star's career often spark rumors. But when Wang Yibo, a top-tier celebrity, started stepping back from the public eye, it wasn't just unexpected, it was unprecedented. He had it all: critical acclaim, commercial success, a devoted fan base, and international appeal. So why now? Some thought it was burnout, others suspected scandal. But those close to the story hinted at something more intimate, a decision rooted not in fame or fortune, but in human connection. The silence Wang Yibo chose wasn't empty, it was full of meaning. And to understand it, we must look beyond the stages and cameras and into the heart of his relationship with Xiao Zhan. Because maybe, just maybe, he didn't leave the stage for himself, but for someone he cared about more than the spotlight. When The Untamed first aired, it was expected to be another fantasy drama in the crowded world of Chinese television. But what unfolded was nothing short of a cultural explosion. Viewers across the globe were captivated, not only by the storyline, but by the magnetic pull between Lan Wangji and Wei Wuxian, portrayed with stunning depth by Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. Their performances felt so real, so emotionally resonant, that fans began to question whether they were just acting. But off-camera, their bond was even more intriguing. They respected each other, teased each other, supported each other. During long night shoots and emotionally taxing scenes, they were each other's anchor. It wasn't just chemistry, it was genuine connection, born from hardship and a shared understanding of the pressure that came with rising to fame so quickly. The Untamed wasn't just a project. It was the beginning of a journey they would walk, sometimes together, sometimes apart, but always silently intertwined. In 2020, Xiao Zhan became the target of one of the most intense cyberbullying incidents in Chinese internet history. The AO3 controversy, triggered by fanfiction of all things, spiraled into a nationwide debate on fan culture and celebrity responsibility. But while the headlines raged, Xiao Zhan disappeared. He wasn't just cancelled. He was erased. Advertisers fled. TV appearances vanished. Online platforms wiped content related to him. And amidst this chaos, fans looked to Wang Yibo, hoping he would speak, defend, or even acknowledge Xiao Zhan's pain. But he didn't. Not publicly. And yet there were signs: cancelled interviews, declined endorsements, strange absences. It later emerged that Yibo had been in contact with Xiao Zhan's team the entire time, offering emotional support and even intervening behind the scenes when things got too dark. To the public, it was silence. But in reality, it was a protective shield, an act of quiet defiance against an industry that demanded distance. Wang Yibo didn't turn away. He stood still in the storm for his friend. One of the least known aspects of this story is just how involved Xiao Zhan's family became in Wang Yibo's life. When Xiao Zhan's world fell apart, his family circled around him like a fortress. But in that fortress, Wang Yibo was invited in. Sources claimed he spent time at their family home during Xiao Zhan's recovery, not as a celebrity, but as someone who had earned their trust. He shared meals with them, helped lighten the emotional weight, and was even said to have stepped in to handle some of the fallout with sponsors and managers, quietly, professionally, and with no credit. This wasn't about saving an image. It was about saving a person. And in the process, Yibo formed a bond with Xiao Zhan's parents that transcended industry relationships. He became more than a co-star. He became family. His choices from that point on were no longer about what roles to accept or what fashion brand to represent. They were about what Xiao Zhan needed most, even if it meant fading into the background himself. The idea of brotherhood in the entertainment industry often feels performative: handshakes in front of the camera, supportive posts online. But what Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan built was something far deeper, tested in silence rather than spotlight. Even as their careers went in different directions, small signals told fans their bond remained. A song lyric posted by one matched an old poem shared by the other. Matching outfits appeared at unrelated events. A rare interview saw Xiao Zhan pause and smile when asked about his past roles, as if remembering something sacred. What they shared didn't need to be explained. It wasn't a bromance for the media. It was a mutual devotion forged through fire, something neither of them ever tried to capitalize on. And perhaps that's what makes it so powerful. They didn't use each other for fame. They simply chose to stand by each other, even when no one was watching. By 2023, Wang Yibo was at the pinnacle of success. With films like Hidden Blade, endorsements from brands like Chanel and Moncler, and a solid spot on Street Dance of China, he could have ridden the wave indefinitely. But he didn't. Instead, he started pulling back. Skipped events. Declined variety shows. Turned down international offers. Fans were confused, and rumors swirled. Was it health? Was it scandal? Was he done? The truth may be far more meaningful. He had already achieved what he needed. Fame wasn't his goal anymore. Being present for someone he loved like a brother became the priority. Whether it was helping Xiao Zhan return to the screen, being there for his family, or just stepping away so Xiao Zhan could shine again without distraction, Wang Yibo made a choice. And sometimes that kind of choice speaks louder than any performance. What will people remember Wang Yibo for? His dancing? His sharp acting? His magnetic stage presence? Undoubtedly, yes. But perhaps the greatest legacy he's leaving behind is something most fans will never see on a magazine cover. Unyielding loyalty. He never sought credit, never used his connection with Xiao Zhan to build a brand. He gave quietly, sacrificed privately, and never asked for applause. That's the kind of legacy that lasts, not in headlines but in hearts. And Xiao Zhan knows it. You can see it in how he smiles when Yibo's name is mentioned. You can feel it in the way he carries himself, more confident, more centered. Because behind him, always, is someone who stood still through it all. From the very beginning, fans were not just spectators. They were witnesses to something extraordinary. The energy between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan during the Untamed didn't feel scripted. It pulsed with authenticity, with a subtle intensity that couldn't be faked. Whether it was the way they looked at each other during interviews, the comfort in their body language, or the unspoken inside jokes, they weren't acting anymore. They were connecting. When the tide turned, when scandals hit and the silence took hold, many fans felt the heartbreak personally. But even through the darkness, they never wavered. Instead, they dug deeper. They noticed the smallest things: a lyric in a song, a date on a post, a shared bracelet or phone wallpaper. These weren't wild theories. They were breadcrumbs left behind, maybe unintentionally, maybe purposefully, but always full of meaning for those who knew how to look. Fandom turned into a form of quiet resistance. While the media moved on, fans kept the bond alive. They protected both men from hate, reported malicious posts, created tribute videos, wrote letters, and sent love not just as supporters, but as guardians of something they felt was real. Online platforms like Weibo, Bilibili, and YouTube became sanctuaries of hope, filled with tributes and timelines piecing together what most refused to see. And the most remarkable part? This belief wasn't built on fantasy, it was based on consistency. Year after year, the small signs never stopped. The mutual gestures, the parallel actions, the emotional synchronicity, all spoke of a connection that hadn't faded. Fans weren't imagining it. They were feeling it like a current under still water. Because some truths don't need headlines. They live in the hearts of those who believe. And that belief, that fierce, unwavering loyalty, became part of the story itself, a third force that stood beside Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan when no one else would. As Wang Yibo stepped further into the shadows, questions began to surface, not just about his career, but about his intention. Was this really the end of his reign as one of China's most sought-after stars? Or was it a conscious retreat, a step back not in defeat, but in redirection? It's easy to see his silence as absence, but perhaps it's something much more powerful: clarity. After years of running in the relentless race of fame, maybe Wang Yibo chose peace. Maybe he saw something more valuable in stepping back to support someone who once carried him through his own storms. And Xiao Zhan? He too has evolved, rising again with a quiet strength, taking on roles with more emotional depth, more soul. Whether it's in The Longest Promise or The Youth Memories, there's a maturity in his performances now that feels shaped by something deeply personal. And fans can't help but wonder, Did Wang Yibo's unwavering support play a part in this rebirth? What if this pause isn't goodbye, but a metamorphosis? What if, beyond the noise of celebrity life, they are rewriting the rules, choosing integrity over attention, meaning over media, and heart over hype? And maybe, just maybe, we haven't seen the last of them together. Whether it's in a new drama, a quiet cameo, or even just a photo that speaks 1,000 words, some stories are too powerful to stay hidden forever. Because the truth is, some bonds don't need to be constantly shown to be eternal. They are carved in loyalty, in choices made in the dark, and in sacrifices no one ever claps for. And when the time is right, their paths may cross again, not to relive the past, but to honor everything they've become. And when that day comes, those who believed all along will smile, not because they were proven right, but because they never stopped hoping.
Thank you for staying with us through this emotional journey into the quiet strength and deep connection between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. This story is not just about two celebrities. It's about loyalty, unspoken love, and sacrifices that often go unseen. If this video moved you, please take a moment to support us. Backhand Index Pointing Right subscribe to our YouTube channel for more heartfelt stories, behind-the-scenes truths, and in-depth explorations of your favorite stars. Memo, leave a comment below and tell us. What do you think about Wang Yibo's decision to step back? Do you believe in the kind of brotherhood that he and Xiao Zhan share? What would you sacrifice for someone you care about? Thumbs up, don't forget to like this video if it touched your heart, and share it with someone who needs to believe that real loyalty still exists. From all of us here, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and stay true to the people who matter most.